Eric writes, I have been meaning to email you for a couple of months, but am just now doing it. You mentioned sometime around Passover about the 2 days of first fruits. Now, for those who didn't catch this episode or this segment that we put up on YouTube, just real quick, somebody asked us when first fruits was. They thought it was on Shavuot, which is 50 days after Passover, right? And their congregation said that it was, their congregation, I believe it was, said that it was the first day of the Omer. And actually, we see this within scholarship as well. For instance, Dr. Brant Petrie, who we had on this show for our Passover special, in his book, Jesus in the Last Supper, he refers to Omer 1 as first fruits. And then we looked in the Torah, and sure enough, the festival of Pentecost, or Shavuot, is referred to as first fruits, right? It's the festival of first fruits. Mm-hmm. However, it also says, bring your first fruits, in reference to the first day of counting the Omer. This is what this this comment is in reference to. He says, one being during the week of Passover and the other being during Pentecost. How can there be two firsts? It seems to me one is for the barley harvest, Exodus 9:31. Barley was in the year Aviv, and before seems directly connected to the month of Aviv. And the other is for the wheat harvest, Exodus 34:22. This is a great point, and I think that there is something to what he's saying, in that the barley comes in for the first reaping of the barley comes in on the first Omer, right? And then we see the wheat harvest is on Shavuot. The only difference is that, first of all, we don't have the Torah refer to the first day of counting the Omer as a Chag, right? That only Shavuot is referred to as a Chag,
right?
That's like a festival celebration. So there is a difference there. Now, it seems also that anytime you have a reaping or a harvesting of specific plants or something like that, it's the first fruit of that plant. But we don't see first fruits. We don't see a celebration of first fruits celebrated as first fruits except for Shavuot. What do you think, Rob?
Well, I don't know if it's the NASB or what, but I can understand the confusion also because there's two Hebrew words that are translated as first fruits. And you can look in Leviticus 23, you see Reshit Ketzarchem, I think it is, which is the Reshit is like the word Bereshit, in the beginning, right? The beginning of your harvest. That's what you take on the first day of counting the Omer. In
fairness to Eric in his question, he actually did put in the two different words. He says one being during the week of Passover, Reshit, and the other being Pentecost, Bikurim. So I left those out, but yes.
Yeah, good. Oh, good. All right, good. Yeah, so that's it. It's just an English translation snub. If you just say Reshit of your harvest, then you know you're talking about the Omer, the first day of the Omer. If you're talking about Shavuot, you use Yom Bikurim, which is, I think in Numbers, it's called Yom HaBikurim, the day of the first fruits. But you got to remember, it's the word for they do have semantic overlap, right?
Sure.
They do have some connection in terms of how they're used, because a bikur can be like a firstborn son, right? It can be first, etc. So, but they're different Hebrew words, and we don't need to worry about the English first fruits, as we don't have to insist that it's the same meaning for both. Is that helpful? I hope that's helpful.
Sure.
It sounds like the fact that they recognize the two different words means that they can see that they're two separate concepts, even though our English translations that aren't cluing into that might conceal that difference. And that's good. Another example of why we need to be able to look behind the translations sometimes when they miss something.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and share this video. Rob and I try to promote three things on this show: good scholarship, solid theology, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can do that by hovering over the round thing below me and then clicking the subscribe button. You should do that.